But in that moment of freedom, the kid jumps into the ocean. I'm talking to the people right now who are, in different situations or relationships that are not the best for you. Why does, the wife of the alcoholic stay there? We want to live life with no regrets. We have to start cutting. The question, when is enough enough? All right, welcome to the 200% Life podcast. I'm excited to be here. It's episode 5, actually. It's a little bit different today. We are drinking tequila. Look at this, Terramana. Get my Dwayne Johnson in. He always makes me feel good. But let's get right into it. And today's podcast is titled, When is Enough Enough? And so here goes, story time. I just came back from Mexico. Yes. Tequila, margaritas, palomas, tacos, quesadillas, 2X, Herradura, Don Julio, Jose Cuervo, sombreros, the beaches, the people, the food, the mariachis, the music. We love it, having a good time, just enjoying life. Okay, enough of that. All right, story time. So I'm here minding my own business at the beach. I'll probably have something in my hand. I don't know if it was a paloma or a margarita. Just walking the beach, trying to get a banana boat for the kids. And I see this funny and kind of interesting looking situation here. So I see a little kid, a little boy, probably, 4 or 5 years old. And he's got the floaties on the arms. You know how the parents do that. Put the floaties on the arms, so they have a floating device just in case if they just fall in a pool or on a beach. They're somewhere at the beach, right? So the parent is probably about 5-6 feet away, and then the kid is there. But the parent's not paying attention. They're like reading a book, I think, or something. And I see the kid starting to take off the floaties out because he feels uncomfortable. He's like trying to move and stuff, and he says, to himself probably, I gotta do something about this, because he's trying to move, trying to play with his toys, and he's looking like he wants to jump in the water. So as he's kind of looking around, the parent's not paying attention. You got the floaties in there, and all of a sudden the view is he's trying to take off the floaties, and he manages to take one off. I don't know, 3-4 years old, who knows? And then he starts taking the other one off. So I'm here thinking, well, the parent's pretty close. For you guys who are thinking like, what are you doing about it, right? Well, the parent was right there. So I'm not paying attention, but he was right there. I was about maybe 10, 15 feet away. And all of a sudden, then the situation comes that, the kid starts running for the water. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen now is there. And at the moment that it starts running to the water, the parent notices and gets up, throws whatever they have in their hand, and runs behind them. But in that moment of freedom, the kid jumps into the ocean. Who knows if it's the first time? I have no clue. Is this the first time? Has he done this before? But jumps into the water where it's, pretty shallow, but, a small kid, 2-3 years old, whatever, 4 years old, and for a good solid 20 seconds, again, I'm 15 feet away. The parent's closer, so if not, I'm jumping in myself. But he's actually swimming in the water, to the point that when the parent actually gets to the child, he's already at shore already. But for those short 20 seconds, I can imagine that feeling of freedom that this little boy had, that I just literally said, enough is enough. I'm getting rid of these floaties, and I'm in the water now, and I want to swim. I want to know what it's like to swim in the water without these stupid things in my arms, okay? And that is what we're talking about today, okay? I know we are in certain situations and certain things that we want to say, and I want to ask you, when is enough enough? So we are in certain situations, and I want to give kudos to my producer. She just gave me this word, which is called situationships, which I guess is either situations or relationships, or both is blended into one. So we are sometimes in situationships that we are so blind and we don't know that, we have to say sometimes, when is enough enough, okay? I'm talking to the people right now who are, in different situations or relationships that are not the best for you. That it is time to maybe change. You have a little itch in your mind that maybe it's time to change, but you don't know. So these are the 3 points that I want to point out to you why you are not changing or why you're not getting out of these things. Okay. Number 1 is habit. So let's talk about habit for 1 second. So habit is in the dictionary. I'm taking you back to, 2nd, 3rd grade, the settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one, listen closely, especially one that's hard to give up. That's a habit. Okay. And believe it or not, there are good and bad habits. Don't believe it or not, because you have some bad habits, you have some good habits, and the bad habits are the ones that are getting us into trouble these days, right? The bad habits, which take, by the way, statistically, anywhere from 21 to 66 days to form, meaning you're consistent repeating in the time, you're given time, and you're reminding yourself you have to do these things. Once you do them for about 21 days, you're it. That's it. You have created a habit that now it's time for you to say, I'm going to keep or break this habit. And sometimes we create habits that obviously are not good for us, okay? You're dedicating repetition, you're dedicating focus, time, and you have to actually create a reminder for yourself, okay? Maybe an alarm, who knows? Maybe you're doing an alarm, but maybe a mental alarm that triggers you to say, I got to do this again, okay? And that little kind of like bad feeling that maybe you shouldn't be doing this, but hey, it feels great. That type of habit is the one that I want you to focus on today, of the reasons why you have to say to yourself, is enough enough? Get out of this situationships that you're in, right? So again, 21 to 66 days is a long time, guys. But once it goes by quick, if you are in a time of a situation where you're actually consistently reminded, repeating, focusing on this habit that you have, okay? So that's the number 1 thing why you're into this situation or relationship that you probably already know in your heart that you have to be out of. Number 2, you have to also be in a cycle of this habit, right? Cycles of habit is what keeps you coming back for more. Okay. In our brain, in our mind, we're strategically, we're creatures of habit. So once we find something that feels some type of way, and at first maybe it feels good, but then later on you find out, hey, maybe this is not so great, and maybe too much of a good thing is not so great either. But once you realize that this is something that it's a cycle that you probably eventually have to break, and you don't know how, that's what I'm talking about, okay? We get dependent on it, whether it be emotionally, physically, financially, who knows? We're dependent on these things because we in our mind already become, emotionally attached, physically attached, financially attached. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking to people who are in this job that you hate, this 9 to 5 that, you hate, right? Is this a habit? You know that you can do better. You know that you have to be out of there, but you're there because it's a habit, and you're financially dependent on that particular habit. And hell, sometimes you want to be emotionally depending on it because you want to feel part of something. Maybe, who knows, right? But that's the habit I'm talking about. Number 3 is that fear of change. The fear of change is crazy, guys. That's what's keeping you where you're at. And when is enough? The fear of change, and let's define change for 1 second, is to make someone or something different, to alter and modify. So once you're stuck in that habit like position, how do you change it, right? It's tough, but the fear of change of, okay, if I do change this habit, what's going to happen? How am I going to feel? What type of person am I going to be when I get out of this? It's very, very important to understand, what's going to happen, right? So in your mind, you're saying it. And the fear of change, what triggers that is being afraid of the unknown. Like, if I do this, what is going to happen? So let me just keep where I'm at, because if I do have to change, I don't know what's going to happen. So I know this, I don't know the unknown, so I'm going to keep here. So our brain is comfortable. Our brain is designed to find the peace in knowing what's going to happen. Okay. And I'll tell you, that's one of the biggest killers of hopes and dreams, is that fear of change. Now, understanding that you should but you don't, because you don't know what is going to happen, right? The biggest things in life the biggest risks you take are going to be, the hardest things you get, but the biggest risks you take are going to be the ones that pay off the most. So that fear of change is what's keeping you right in these situationships. Thank you again. And so now we're going to talk about the fourth thing here, which is false sense of hope. So this might hit home to some of you guys. So because you're in a habit, because you're fearing change, you're now blinded with a false sense of hope. Let me explain and elaborate a little bit. And, I want to dig down deep, because I want to speak to those people who need to hear this. This false sense of hope is made up of being blinded, thinking that something is gonna be different if you keep doing these things, or if you stay in that relationship, if you stay in that job, if you stay doing the habits that you're doing, that something will eventually change, where deep down inside of you, that probably it's not. Okay? Why does, the wife of the alcoholic stay there? Because there's a false sense of hope that one day that person will change. Statistically, they probably need a lot of help, number one, but they keep at it, and days go by, weeks go by, for heaven's sake, years go by. I know people, decades go by, and that person's still the same. So that question rises again. When is enough, right? When is enough? We are blinded by this false sense of hope, okay? We're comfortable, and we are fearing, okay, if I do leave this situation, this relationship, this habit, what's going to happen to me? What type of person am I going to be, etc. That's what we got to break, okay? That is the question I want to all my 200% listeners, is to live this 200% life. Let's auto-analyze our situations, our relationships, our jobs, our health habits, our day-to-day habits. Who knows? I don't know. Do you have a situationship with Netflix? Are you maybe watching 6 hours and maybe one is enough, but the other 5, on a constant basis? Okay. You could be doing something more productive, and that you should be doing something more productive, but you don't, because, hey, listen, this is what I'm comfortable doing with, right? And again, the question, when is enough? All right. I want to dig deep down, and I want to talk to you, and I want to tell you, if you've been thinking about this is the time to actually take the action for it. If nobody's going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Nothing is going to change unless you take that initiative and take that massive action to say, listen, these habits are bad. This situation is bad. This relationship is bad. This job is horrible for me. And I need to change today. And I need to break this habit. And I'm going to be okay with the change. I will take the fear of change and just kick its ass right now. And I want to make a difference right now in my life. And I want to be okay with the unknown. Because the unknown, I probably tell you, and I can almost put some money on it, that it's probably much better than where you're at right now. Life is too short to be wasted. Your days are going by, your weeks are going by, your years are going by, and I don't want you to be 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years down the line to wish you have made this change that time ago. So if nobody has told you this, I want to tell you this. Live the 200% life. Break some habits, okay? I need you to slap yourself in the face, put some water in your face, and whatever decision you need to make it today. Because you've been thinking about it. I know you have. You've been doing it. And we all have them, right? We all have these situations and relationships that we know we had to break, okay? And I'll raise my hand, me included, right? We have different things. And now, we can go deep into relationships like a husband and a wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, significant other, whatever it is, a job, your fitness, your time wasters, whatever it is, I don't know. But whatever is you know that it's not supposed to be there, you have to ask yourself, when is enough enough? And enough is today. Right now is enough. Right now is time to make a difference, to change your life, take massive action, do a 200% move, and make your life meaningful. The life you deserve, the life that you need to have to get you to that new horizon that you've been waiting for. And if you're a young hustler, you definitely have time right now, but time goes by quick. If you're 22, 23, you can blink of an eye, you're going to be 30. Blink of another eye, you're going to be 35, 36, 37. And then you're 40 like me, right? I have some gray hairs, okay? But although we want to live life with no regrets, we have to start cutting. Is it family members? Is it your significant other? Is it a job? Is it a bad habit that you have? Who knows? Is it smoking? I don't know. You have to, everybody has different things. Everybody has different demons, right? That they have to fight. But right now is the time to do it. So, 200% break that habit. You need to kick that fear of change in its ass today, and you need to start making better decisions and make that big move. You need to pick up that phone and make that call. You need to set up that meeting and tell that person that you're out, or that job that you're out, and then now take that leap of faith that you want to do. The unknown is beautiful. The unknown is amazing, and the biggest payoffs in your life are going to be the biggest risks that you take. I'll leave you with that, guys. Cheers to you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. 200%. Thank you for tuning in to the 200% Life podcast, with new episodes coming to you every other week. And please don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe below, as we would love to hear your feedback. And hey, listen, put your situationships below. We would love to hear about what you're going through. And also, don't forget to check out the 200% vlog. And talking about tequila, the title of the new episode is Needles and Tequila. Very entertaining, so look at it on YouTube. Link is in the description below. See you soon.